Hi, I'm Claudia Brown-Coulter with Pivotal Peace. I'm your go-to mediator for navigating divorce while parenting children with special needs. I am also a legal document assistant, LDA, based in the greater Los Angeles area. Your kids need support. Your kids need emotional support as you walk through this divorce. If your children have special needs, they're going to need even extra support. So let's talk about, really briefly, some ways to support your child. This is challenging. Divorce is challenging for all parents and all kids, but having special needs adds an extra layer of challenge on top of things, and you really want to be gentle and handle all children with care. So my first tip is, if you are divorcing and you're at the point where the kids are going between two different homes, you want to have a schedule for the kids that they can see. And you want it to be a visual schedule, whether they read or not. So it can have words and pictures, but it should be somewhere in a central location where they can see. It needs to be graphic. Maybe there's a calendar with an arrow and lines, and maybe it's a picture of dad, and maybe it's a picture of the other dad, just so that they know who they are going to be with. Knowing what is going to happen, okay, yes, sometimes that produces anxiety, but not knowing what's going to happen produces way more anxiety. This will get them ready. This will front load them with that information that they need, so then they're prepared for what's going to happen next. So it's really, really important, whenever you introduce a new routine, if there's a new transition, that they're ready ahead of time. The other tip is to use sensory supports to reduce overwhelm. As an adult, sometimes I tap. Ooh, that feels good right now. You just reducing the overwhelm, reducing the stress of the week, just reducing the stress of the moment. Your child, all of us, get overloaded with sensory information. And this is really, really stressful for the kids. So you want to think about, well, what do I usually use for my kids when they're feeling overwhelmed? Is that noise canceling headphones? Are they fidgeting? Do they have a fidget toy? Is it a weighted blanket that they can use? What is something that can help calm their nervous system down? Use that. Include sensory activities like deep breathing or like tapping. Kids can tap too, and it is so empowering. It is really hard for a kid to just sit there and meditate, because kids, their heart rates are fast. Everything about a kid is fast. So they can tap. They can definitely do that, right? Because they drive you crazy when they're tapping on their desk, when they're tapping with the pen, when their foot is tapping. They can tap. Show them how to tap. Create something in your car, something at a central location in your house, maybe at your parents' house, some sort at your co-parent's house, some sort of calm down kit where it has the things in there that will help them calm down. And the goal is for them to know when they're being overwhelmed, so then they can go and get that kit themselves. They can pull that weighted blanket out themselves. They can go, oh, I'm feeling overwhelmed. Before I have a meltdown, let me go grab this thing. Let me go grab my favorite toy. Tip 3, maintain consistency as much as possible. This means you and your co-parent are going to need to be on the same page. That means you're going to have to communicate. And I know you're getting a divorce and communication is most likely broken down. But this isn't about you or them or your feelings and your desires and your love or lack thereof. This is about your kids and their needs and your mutual love for your children. So you want to have consistent routines across households. Maybe you're the person who sets all the routines, and maybe your co-parent doesn't agree with that. That might mean you need to kind of be a little more flexible and create new routines in these two households, so that, okay, well, I used to do it this way, but we're agreeing we're gonna shift it to this, and we're both gonna implement it. Because if you give your co-parent a little give, they're gonna give that right back to you. So consider being flexible, but don't change too much. This is your kids we're talking about. Don't change too much. And tip 4, communicate in a way that your child understands. Your child is not dumb. They are not dumb. They understand way more than you think that they do. Use child-appropriate language. Do not expose them to information that disparages their other parent or, introduces them to concepts that they're not ready for. But you can tell them, we are getting a divorce. Your mom is gonna, when you go see your mom, she's gonna be living in this house. And when you come home to see your other mom, we're gonna be living here. Get them ready so that they know what is going to happen. Use appropriate language and always, 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 always reinforce that the divorce is not their fault, that you love them, they are loved, they will always be loved, they will always be special, they will always be important no matter who or what comes into your lives. They are important. Okay? So reassure them that they're going to be okay. It is hard. I know divorce is hard, but if you're just a little bit strategic, remember, kids don't need a perfect parent. They need a parent that's good enough. That means 51% of the time. You can't pass a class with 51%, but you can pass parenting. You can be successful. So kind of take that same approach and look at your parenting plan. Look at, the needs of your child and really think about, okay, well, how can I get them ready? It's not going to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect, but make a little bit of an effort. If you implement one of these tips, your kids are going to be okay. So if you have questions about this, if you've got ideas for other videos you'd like me to present on, put them in the chat below. Reach out to me. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you soon.